Before we dive into today's episode, we want to remind you of two essential resources: the 988 National Hotline for Mental Health Support and the MYTT 365 app available at mildavet.com. Both are valuable tools to assist you in your transition journey. Now let's get to the show.
Nabeel, welcome back. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for having me back, Yogi.
It's an honor. So I want to talk about your updates and what's going on with the Futurist Academy.
Quite a lot. I mean, so we've made a lot of headway. We've got the back end completely designed. We're working on the front end and also working on the content right now. So the plan is to release the first phase of the Academy in end of Q1 of next year, of 2024. So yeah, a lot of progress. I mean, it's been quite an experience in itself. I mean, I'm certainly not an educator by trade or by profession, and learning quite a bit. So we've actually been working with the educators themselves, with the students. We've put processes in place as it entails to governing and how do we actually create and curate content and make it simple, even for people that are from our sector that are not necessarily educators by profession, to bring their talent and their tribal knowledge that they've captured over the years and simplified enough that they can actually use a platform, as well as simplified enough that the users are able to connect and comprehend the information that's going to be shared with them.
Perfect. And so how does this play with our military family?
Well, I mean, it's foundational, right? For starters, a good news is that Tony Grayson is going to be joining us as one of our lead ambassadors, who's going to be leading the VET initiative. And that's going to be made public, actually, hopefully very soon over here. But how does it lead in with the vets? I think the biggest challenge that we've got right now is that as a sector that we have made education so difficult and inaccessible. So where does it help? We want to simplify, we want to make it available and accessible, and we want the vets to be able to ask open questions. We want the vets to be confident in pursuing this as a career path. They already have the skill set. We just need to refine it and tell them and mold them as to what data points that we are needing in a particular instance, and or what skill sets do they need to develop and be that arm in providing that set of skills, resources, and education.
Okay, perfect. And so with that is a huge push. I know you've been working extremely hard in order to be able to make this happen for us and be able to be an asset into our community. What can we do, and so we don't let this massive opportunity go to waste as service members or transitioning service members? What can we do in order to get the most out of this?
Well, I think there's a lot that can be done. For starters, the most important thing is to have a little bit of patience, right? I mean, this has not been done before, unfortunately. We are at a starting point, so just be patient with me, patient with us, and give us this opportunity. Secondly, have a desire to learn and continue to spread the word. I mean, the opportunities are endless in the space, and I would want to reemphasize the fact that the vets actually have skills that the civilians don't. And that one skill that's actually the biggest skill that anybody should possess is discipline, that the vets have, the civilians will never have, or at least, gosh, that's probably not the right way to say it or politically correct, but the vets are always going to be a lot more disciplined and committed, and that's what we're seeking. So, be patient, engage with us, ask us questions. This is not going to go to waste. We're gonna be very, very strategic about this. So, Yogi, thanks for spreading the word and sharing the wealth of knowledge, as well as your partnerships with the vets. I think we got to carry on this journey.
And in order to be able to sign up, you talked about being this available for the first responders and also military. Is there something that's going to be able to, are there going to be like certifications? Are there going to be classes? Is this going to be online? What is the how is the vision going to be forward?
Yeah, so initially it's going to be all on an online platform. And the signups are going to be like through any website experience, similar to like signing up for Amazon, right? That you'll create your online profile, you'll sign up, you'll identify your general interest and or skill sets. Once that's determined, then we will actually try to get you into the right coursework. Our strategy is slightly different, whereby we want you to understand the entire scope of the data infrastructure. So, for instance, how do you identify dirt? Where do you build it? The electrical, mechanical, structural, network, and architectural, all are going to be a part of that equation. And don't be straddled, because the whole idea is it's going to be simple, right? I mean, it's kind of like teaching kids how to play with Legos. That's the idea. So I'm not saying that you're going to be the next electrical scientist or a nuclear scientist, but you're going to have a general understanding of how power works, how is it distributed, and how do we create efficient environments. So you'll have a general framework of everything. And then once you get comfortable, then you'll have vertical swim lanes. Okay, I want to learn more about electricity. I want to learn more about mechanical. I want to learn about thermal management. I want to learn about how it's distributed. I want to learn about networks and so on and so forth. To answer your question as far as certifications are concerned, yes, you will. Once completing the coursework, you will get a certificate of completion for that particular coursework and or that module that you've completed. Once you get past that, and there's going to be certain key performance indicators that we're going to measure your performance on. Once you get past that and you meet that threshold, then eventually we want to get you a certificate through the accredited body as well. So we are partnering up with organizations like TIA, CNET, and others with Uptime Institute that we're trying to develop programs that we can further get you to be a subject matter expert and potentially even pay for that education for you. So KPIs are important. Good work is important, right? And that comes with good ethical skills and work skills and discipline that the vets particularly have over anybody else for that matter. So there is a process in the place. And we are going to, once we launch the entire platform, that we're going to make it very, very explicit.
I love it. Is there anything else that you want to share with the Return to Roots team, and that we're really excited to see this to come to fruition? We've talked about this for now going over a little bit over a year, and we'd love to see.
It hasn't been quite a year yet.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It hasn't been. Yeah, you're right.
It hasn't been a year, and I mean, you know, we had to make some strategic decisions as well. I mean, from the original vision that I had to now a team that's actually running this, you know, it's taken a shape of its own. You know, as somebody that's leading the charter, you know, one of those things like I want to get it done yesterday, but we've got to be realist about it, as well as ensuring that we've got the right content, the right team in place. So, you know, I appreciate the patience. We're working hard and diligently on it. I would say, you know, I continue to ask for your support and, you know, spread the word. I mean, that's the most important thing.
Is there a place that our viewers can go check some of the progress as it's being developed? Maybe a sign-up list, if they're interested, that they can go to?
So we have not publicly released that yet. There's going to be a soft launch, I believe, that's currently scheduled for first week of March. Once that gets out, we'll make sure that we get that information over to you.
Perfect. We would love to have
I mean, the challenge with that is, like, unfortunately, right? I mean, the more people, the more chefs that get into the kitchen, you know, the difficult it's to prepare the meal, and we just want to make sure that we are able to bring this to the market sooner than later.
I love it. Love it. Anything else you want to share with our audience?
Yeah, so I mean, Tony has been actually a phenomenal advocate. We're going to be setting up some tours for with the U.S. Navy, hopefully next year as well. So I want to bring people from the civilian world to experience, like, I mean, the vet's life, and try to figure out how do we bridge that, right? I mean, there's certainly a communication gap and misunderstanding of, you know, the two different worlds that we live in. So we're trying to explore avenues where people can potentially connect in some capacities. So, Tony Grayson has been very generous, and he's going to be setting up some tours. Hopefully I get to spend the night or two maybe on the subs. So I don't know yet, but stuff like that's actually in the works at the moment. So if you have any creative ideas, I mean, at the end of the day, the most important thing is to ensure that we all understand what our scars are, or what does that mean, and have some sort of a connection point, and not just judge people. That's the biggest challenge that we have in our society, that we continue to judge people. And I believe that we are all made of the same parts. I mean, I talk about diversity, equity, inclusion, and that does not just necessarily apply with the color or the race. It applies to the diversity of thoughts and experiences as well. And I want to make sure that we bring that to the forefront. And that can only be done by potentially exposing people to events, exposing people to circumstances, and or how other peoples live, and or even quality of life and the lifestyle that people are accustomed to.
Love it. As always, it's an honor to have you. I know this is a very short and quick episode, that just to get some traction and some updates on your process and your progress. And we're really excited to be a part of this journey and be able to support you in any way that we can.
Yeah, love it. Thank you so much for your support, and thank you for having me again. Yeah, we've got to do more of this. I have a thing that if you're in front, you're relevant. If you're not, you're totally irrelevant. So thank you for having me again on your platform, and thanks for sharing the vision and what we're trying to accomplish. And I would say I've shared more than I should have, as it entails to where we're at with the progress. But I do believe in my team, and I do believe in the cause, and I do believe that we're making good progress. It might be slow at times, which really does frustrate me. But I've got to learn as well. So I'm learning along the way that it's okay to sometimes slow down, because that helps you to go faster.
Agreed. Well, Return to Roots audience, again, our honor guest, Nabeel Mahmood. Some call him the Mr. Incognito. Some call him Mr. Awesome. All right, brother. We'll see you again.
All right. Thank you very much for having me, Yogi. It's been wonderful. Great seeing you.